Good morning, yogis. Welcome to your practice. This is our weekly Yoga in the Park class, which has now become yoga in your garden, on your balcony, in your living room, your kitchen, your bedroom, whatever it is. We are making do with what is available. This session is all about mobility for movers. So you might be asking, who are these movers that you talk about, the movers and the shakers of the world? Well, that's you. That's all of us. We are forced to take a little break from traveling, from going out, from maybe doing our job completely at the moment. But when we come out of this, it's going to be up to us to rebuild the broken pieces that are scattered around everywhere, to restart our business or maybe start a new activity, to get back into the swing of things, and maybe not exactly the swing of things how they were before, but maybe an upgraded version. So we can look at this as a bit of a pause or a renovation, if you like. We're going through some discomfort, but then we get to live in our new reality after that, if that is what we choose to create. Now, often in a period like this, we tend to sit a little bit too much. Maybe you've had some extra couch time, Netflix, scrolling on the phone. I think we all have increased that a little bit. But it's really important to keep moving, because our bodies are designed to move. They are designed to move pretty much the whole day, every day, for a whole lifetime. And if that's not what we're doing, if we're sitting too much, for example, then we're not giving our body that medicine, that activity that it was actually built for. So this session is all about moving with freedom, with confidence, with a sense of fluidity in the body. And also to set aside a little bit of the rigid yoga alignment, and this is the only right way to do things. There is no such thing, of course. So in this class, we will not focus on alignment, but more on flowing and moving in a way that feels really amazing. Also, mobility, I'd like to just talk about this a little bit. It's not so much the flexibility alone. I mean, how far you could go, that is important, but we want to reach far with a sense of skill and control. So there's a combination of strength and flexibility which combine into mobility, the way you can skillfully move all your joints around in space. Nice. So for now, just come to a comfortable seat. Close your eyes and take a few deeper breaths. Just settle into this moment. There's going to be two, not rules, but guidelines throughout this practice. The first one is to relax. So you can start that immediately now. Can you let go of some tension? Can you relax and sit here a little bit more comfortably? Maybe the shoulders, maybe around the belly, maybe the neck and the throat, maybe the face, all can relax a little bit more. And then the second guideline throughout this whole practice, which we're going to try and keep in mind, is to let the breath flow with ease. So I'm not going to guide the breath in this practice. You know how to breathe. You know when it is time to inhale and when it is time to exhale. If you think of any animals in the wild, for example, nobody needs to teach them how to breathe. They know perfectly how to do that. And actually it's no different for us human animals. You know how to breathe, and to keep the breath smooth and relaxed as much as possible is really going to help you to find a sense of ease. It sends a signal to your brain actually that everything is fine. There are no emergencies looming around the corner right now. And then you can slowly blink your eyes open. Come to a cross-legged position. Any leg in front, you're probably going to choose your most favorite leg. We're going to swap this around in a moment. And then just start to move forward and back. Just forward and back. It's really nice to move the spine in different directions. This is a great one to start with. It's impossible to do this wrong or to overdo it. You can stretch into this, rounding your back, arching your back, breathing comfortably and relaxing. Those are the two guidelines for this practice. Whatever happens, breathe comfortably and relax. Also, you'll know if you can't breathe comfortably and relax, it probably means you're straining a little bit too hard. You might need to tone it down a little bit or skip something here and there. Now start to twist one side, the other side, really simple. Simple little twists. We're not trying to go as far as possible, we're just trying to move from a stable base, the cross-legged position, and then create some fluidity around the spine. And then third movement, one hand to the side, other hand over, and then swap to the other side. Little side bends, again, not how far you go, but how skillfully you can do this. And again, can you relax and smoothen the breath out. And then come to center, swap the legs, so the other leg will go in front, forward and back, same thing. Like mini cat and cows from a sitting position, but not necessarily linked to the breath or at a certain pace. Just do what feels good. You could go slower than me or faster than me. Relax and breathe. Little twists, second spinal movement. You can use your arms or not, doesn't really matter. Just inviting the spine to become a little bit more mobile in all directions. And then last one, hand over to the side, other arm over, side bend. And last one. Nice. Now coming to, I think it's called deer legs, when one knee points straight towards the long edge of the mat, and then your sole of the one foot is close to the other knee. Nice. All we're going to do is lean a little bit forward over the knee that's facing the one direction, and then lift up, swap the knees to the second side, and lean forward the other way. That's it. Swap your legs and lean. A little bit like pigeon pose, but in a more dynamic version. Less alignment, more natural movement. We're not holding any pose right now, we're just flowing in a way that feels great. And we're trying to let the breath flow at in the same quality as the body. The two need to unite more and more. And then see if you can do the same but without using your hands. You probably notice that you won't go as far, which is the difference between active range of motion and passive range of motion. With your hands you can always push yourself a little bit further, but when you have to use just to strengthen that joint to move, you probably have a little bit more limitations. So it's good to notice that it's actually the active one is the one that's going to give us the most benefits. And then stop on the sides that we started on. Let me just think. I need to move a little bit more to the middle of the mat. This time we're going to lift up onto the knees and swap the legs under to the other side. Lift up onto your knees, swap your legs under. So it's the same pose, but we're coming into it from a different angle. Lift up, swap legs, lower down. Lift up, swap legs, lower down. Two more, one on each side. Swap, lower slow. Lift up, swap, and lower slow. Now again, point this one knee to the long edge of the mat. And I'll see if you can come into pigeon pose without using your hands. Maybe the first time you might need a little bit of support from the hands. If necessary, stretch that leg long, just lean a little bit forward. And then come up, swap legs. So we're moving over to the other side, stretching the one leg back and leaning a little bit forward. Nice. Worry a little bit less what it looks like and just see how it feels like. Pigeon pose, no hands, if you can help it. Again, to the second side, let's do one more each side. You'll probably notice already it gets a little bit easier as you've done this a couple of times. You're building up new movement patterns, new skills in the body. You're connecting dots that were maybe not connected in this way before. Nice. And then come to sit with your legs out in front. A bit of dynamic core work, I like to call it. Here we go. Activate the legs, activate the feet. Reach a little bit forward and just stop wherever. Don't hold anything, just reach. And then lift up and start to lean back. I'm a bit close to this bush. Lean back, lie down for a moment and curl chin up to chest. Lift up, hands up. Reach forward as far as you go. Lift up. Chest lifts, and then roll round your back to go back. Lift up, lift the hands. Reach forward, pull belly back. Nice. Now relax and breathe. As you do this a couple of times. Lift the heart, reach forward from your belly. Lift up, roll down. How's the breath? And how fluid can you keep the body as opposed to rigid and tense? There's effort involved, there's a lot of strength in these movements, but we don't need to leak energy in places where it's not really helpful. Which takes a lot of practice, of course, so we're just checking in. Lift the arms, and then just lean forward, drop in for a moment. Just drop your hands, drop your head. Nice. Roll back up. Cross your shins and then flex your feet so the outside edges of your feet are touching the mat. Pull everything in tightly into your chest, into your body. And then you can reach your hands forward, push your feet down. And can you stand up without using your arms, your hands? Now shake the legs out for a moment. Place your feet quite wide. And then really simple, we're going to do some spinal rolls from standing into squatting. Nice, we'll start with the chin. So feel the rounding in the back of the neck. And then round your upper back, let the shoulders droop forward. Round your lower back. Here bend the knees a little bit, round your lower back. And then slowly hang down. When your fingertips touch the floor, you can start to bend your knees more into a squat. And then round your back a little bit more in the squat here. Nice, start to push your feet down. We're going to roll up again into standing, lower back, middle back, upper back, shoulders, head. Again, chin to chest. Round the upper back, round middle, round lower back, bend the knees a bit. Start to droop down. Bend your knees, pull yourself down in the squat. Nice and round in the spine. Push your feet down. Start to lift the hips. And then unravel the spine vertebra by vertebra. Roll shoulders, roll head up last. Again, roll chin down. I'll show you from the side. Slowly the back. Till you get to lower back, you start to bend the knees and then soften down in the squat. Slowly roll back, up, head lifts last. Again, chin to chest. Round upper, middle, lower back, bend knees to squat. This time place your hands and just step into down dog. So we're using traditional yoga poses, but in a more dynamic, more fluid way, without worrying about the alignment too much. Nice. From down dog, step your feet forward again. Squat. Round your back a lot as you roll up to standing spinal roll. Chin to chest, we're rolling down again, take your time. From squat, hands down, back to down dog. This time down dog, roll forward into a plank. And then hang the hips down for a moment. Broaden the chest towards the front. So sort of like a hanging upper dog. And then reverse this movement, chin to chest. Roll back to down dog. Step your feet forward. Squat. Roll up, spinal roll. Building a little sequence, one pose at a time. Roll chin to chest, we're rolling down, take your time. Remember, relax and breathe. You probably don't remember, but you can start that again now. Place hands down, down dog. Roll forward, house your breath into plank. Hang the hips down. You figure out which breath is appropriate right here. What's the pace and the depth of the breath that works best for you here? And then roll back, chin to chest, down dog. Nice. We're going to add one more movement. It's like this. I'm going to place right foot where my right hand used to be. And then pull the right hand back towards the right shoulder. Swap again back to down dog. Left foot where the left hand used to be, pull that hand back. And step back to down dog. Step both feet forward, squat. Roll up to standing spinal roll, mountain. Roll down. You'll see we're passing through a lot of yoga poses, but in a bit of a different way. Squat. Place hands down dog. Ripple forward into plank. Hang the hips down, relax and breathe. Remember our two principles for the class today. You should probably employ these principles in most of daily life, if not all. Back to down dog, right foot, pull right hand back. Left foot, pull left hand back. Nice. From here, we can step forward again, or you can do a little jump into squat. Round your back, push the feet down, round. Rolling up to standing. Roll chin to chest, we're rolling down. Squat. Hands down. You can step back to down dog, or you can do a little hop. Round the spine into plank. Arch the spine into the hanging up dog. Roll back to down dog. Right foot, pull back. Left foot, pull back. Nice. Bend your knees, look forward, and hop to the front to squat. Round your back, we'll do one more round. This replaces our sun salutations. We're just trying to warm up all parts of the body. Round down, squat. Push hands down, hop, back to down dog. Ripple forward, spinal roll to plank. Continue, hang the hips down, stay on the toes. Chin to chest, down dog. Right foot, explosive motion. Step back. Left foot, pull back. Nice. As it's Easter, we'll end this little sequence with a couple of bunny hops. You're welcome. You can step a little bit closer. You can bend the knees. Watch, I'm not starting way back here. I'm starting a little bit here with my shoulders almost over the wrists. And then from here, I'm just going to kick the heels up a couple of times. Try this. Try to kick your own butt with your heels. Have fun with it. You might catch a little hang time if you're lucky. Come to the front of your mat, squat. Roll up to standing. Place your feet hip distance or closer together, whatever is your preference. Hands to heart. Slow down. Feel the difference you have made on your body, on your mental state, on your energy levels, on your emotions, just by moving fluidly with the breath for a few rounds like that. Let the breath slow down. Let the heart rate slow down. Blink your eyes open. Place your feet a little bit wider. Have a soft bend in your knees. And then just start to move your hips side to side. So it's the hips that twist left and right. And then really relax your arms. Let them just flop around your body as the hips are moving your arms around. So you're snapping the hips to the opposite side, which will fling the arms up. There's no activity in the arms, only in the core. The hips connected down through the feet to the earth, and then the lower belly moving the spine, which moves the shoulder blades, the shoulder girdle, which move the arms. Nice. If you want, you can bend your knees a bit more and put a bit more swing into this, so you might even slap yourself on the kidneys, the middle back, and the front of your shoulders. You can even look back if that feels good. Last 3, 2, 1, and release again. Stand tall for a moment, mountain pose, hands to heart. You are the mover and the shaker in your world. If anything is to change and is to happen, we are not waiting for outside circumstances. We as yogis, we are taking control of our bodies, our minds, our energies. And we are working from that space to maximize our own potential and spread this with everybody else around us who is affected, who might need our help. Let's come into downward facing dog. Just take a moment here, wiggle around, lean the hips to one side and to the other. Nice, and then walk your feet through and sit down for a moment. Place your hands behind you. The fingers, I actually like them a little bit out to the side. And then from here, take right arm up, push your left hand down, bridge the hips up. Slowly come down. Place right hand down, left arm sweeps up and back. Lift the hips and lower down. Left hand down, right arm up, sweep, maybe twist a little bit and come down. Right hand down, left arm up, reach and lower. Left hand down, right arm up, lift the hips, open the heart. Lower down, last one. Right hand down, left arm up, bridge the hips up, push your feet down and slowly lower down. Come back into a squat. So you might feel your squat becomes a bit more comfortable already after moving through these fluid sequences. We're relaxing, we're turning into the breath. We're allowing the body, the breath to guide us through this. And this is not a thinking practice, this is a doing and a being practice. Place your hands, step back to down dog. I'm going to be using a couple of traditional yoga poses that you all know probably, if you're not completely new to this. But we're going to use them in a more dynamic way again. So we're not staying in any one pose, we're finding some delicious movement in it. Nice. The first one is step your right foot forward. So you're in a lunge. Stay on the fingertips and just rock backwards and forwards a few times. Sometimes a traditional yoga sequence can get a little bit rigid. This is how you place your feet. This is what your knees and your hips and your arms are doing. But of course, this is not how our body is made. It is made for a lot of different options and for movement between one shape to the other, which is what we're focusing on. Move a little bit side to side, just twisting the hips left and right. You're likely to come into a couple of roadblocks where you feel, oh, there's not as much movement as I would have liked. But of course, this practice, if you repeat it frequently, it's going to address that. And then one of my favorite movements here, it works like this. I'm going to place the left hand a little bit wider, so leave a good space between right foot and left hand. And I'm going to step the back foot through. You can sit down or you can hover if you want to work with more strength. Step left foot back. Nice. Again, left foot shoots through and step back. Left foot, slide it through. Step back. Remember to relax, to breathe, not easy. Shoot the left foot through and step back. We're doing 100 of these. No, we're not doing 100 of these. Let's do 3 more. Left foot forward and shoot back. Again, left foot forward, step back. Last one, left foot forward, sit down. Thank goodness. It is Sunday after all. We can take it a little bit easy. Nice, so we're in traditional Janu Sirsasana pose, the one-legged forward fold. But again, we're not staying here. Just lean a bit forward, lean a bit back. Just move wherever there's space, maybe off to the side. You get your arms involved. Side bends, twists. You can even lift up. If you place one hand behind you, lift the hips. Whatever feels good here. Nice. Now place the right foot back. We've got a problem, a movement puzzle. We have to step this left leg back all the way to the end of the mat. How we're going to do this? You push the hands down to lift the hips a little bit. If you can do pistol squat, you can do this here, but it's going to be a little bit hard if you haven't practiced that before. And you can help with the hands, step your left foot back. Maybe without hands if you want to advance this to the next level. Nice, back knee down. Start to straighten your right leg, slide the foot a little bit forward. Again, in a regular yoga practice, a lot of classes, even the ones that I teach, we would just be here, we're pulling the right hip back, we're lengthening the chest forward. Today, don't do that. Just have a little bend in the right knee, swing side to side. Sway. Invite the body to relax into this. Yes, you have tight hamstrings. Yes, you can't touch your toes. All of this is fine. We're not really interested in little details like that. We're interested in, do you show up over and over, despite all the odds, despite being busy, despite having a tough time, despite having financial difficulty. Whatever is the case, this movement doesn't take a lot of space or time or money for that matter. So you could just hop in. Maybe a little bit forward and back. A couple of times forward and back. You will figure out what is necessary here. You probably need to bend that right knee a little bit as you come forward. You could pull it back a little bit as you come back. Nice and easy. Nice. And then settle into bent right knee, left hand down. Reach the right arm back. You could stay here, option 1. Option 2, lift the left foot, the back foot off the mat. Option 3, hold the left foot with your right hand. And now we're not just holding passively, but we're trying to push the left foot into the right hand as if it's trying to escape. This will activate your left quad, the front of the left thigh. So we're both stretching that muscle and also activating it. This is the best way to move. Nice. Now feel that left leg wants to straighten, but it's stuck in the bind. Now we're going to do the opposite. Bend the left knee more. Bring left heel to your buttock. And try to keep it as close as possible. As you start to release the right hand, you'll have to probably lose a little bit of space there, but keep it as close as you can. Contract the left hamstring. Aye, aye, aye. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And slowly release. If you're cramping in any way, join the club. This is quite normal in these poses. A cramp actually means your muscles are a little bit confused about what its role is exactly, so it's quite a good thing. Nice. From here, straighten the back leg. Push the right foot down. I'm going to step forward into that right leg. And I'm just going to turn forward so you can see a little bit better. From here, I'm going to let the left leg hang. Let the left leg hang, swing it lightly backwards and forwards. Completely relax that left leg like it's a dead weight hanging from a pendulum. Even imagine that left leg is, instead of hanging from the hip, it hangs from the top of your head. Of course it isn't really, but all of this is connected in any case. And then swing a little bit more. Left leg swings backwards and forwards. Maybe your arms get involved naturally. Maybe there's a sense of little twist, a bit of core work. And a lot of right hip engagement to keep you stable here. Of course, if you fall out, your left foot touches down, it's game over. You have to stop this yoga class immediately and go to your room. No, you don't. Sometimes as adults we get really serious about little things like that. No, it just means you try again. Nice. Pause for a moment. We're going to flow through a couple of balancing poses, not holding anyone. First on tree. Come into tree. Just for a breath. Nice. Left ankle, right knee. Sit into figure of 4, standing pigeon. Nice. Dancer. Hold the left foot behind you. Oops. Lift the chest. And lift the back leg behind you. Just for a moment. Warrior 3. Hands reach behind you. Chest goes forward. Half moon pose. Right hand down, left arm up. Standing splits. Left leg as high as it goes. Nice. Come to stand back up. A moment of free time. Do whatever you want. Standing on the right leg. Explore some different options. And then slowly release. I'm sure you can start to feel your right hip. I definitely am. Shake out the legs. Feel the difference. Left to right. We're learning how to become aware on deeper levels what is happening in our body and our minds. Nice. Come back to downward facing dog. Step your left foot forward into a lunge. We started this way a while back. So we do the same, rock forward and back a couple of times. No particular instruction, just move. It might be tiny movements, it might be bigger movements, whatever feels good and what your body allows you to do today. Rock side to side a couple of times. For me, I feel much more restriction in that right hip compared to the left. So there's probably a good chance you also have a bit more of an open side, a more restricted side. There is no human being on this earth is perfectly symmetrical. Nice. I'm going to shift back a little bit. We're going to do that right leg shooting forward. So I need to put my right hand a little bit wider so there's an opening here. And then stretch your right foot through. You can hover or you can sit down for a little discount, you could say. And then we're stepping back. Again, right foot shoots forward and steps back. Shoot forward. Step back. Only 3 more, you've got this. Step back. 2 more. Relax and breathe. Oh man, I forgot. Where are we? I lost count. One more. Shoot forward and sit down. Left foot inside right thigh. So I've got a pose, a setup, but from here I want to explore what is possible from here. Maybe lean a little bit forward, maybe lean a little bit back. Nice, just see where you can go. Maybe get the arms involved, maybe a little lift, a little back bend. Side bends are great, twists are great, but only you know what your body needs and how far you should go to get the maximum benefits. It might not have to be very far at all, actually. Nice. Left foot, push it down. Here's a movement problem or puzzle. We have to get the right leg back to the end of the mat somehow. So, good luck. Let's hope for the best. You can, of course, use your hands to push forward. Maybe brief pistol squat. Maybe no hands as you step the right foot back. However you got there, congratulations. Right knee down. Left leg start to straighten a little bit more. So it's a half splits kind of setup, but not the rigid type that we might be used to. Lean the hips side to side. It's really nice. You get a little bit more into the inner and the outer sides of your hip muscles. For example, there's 3 hamstrings. So when you lean in, you get more to the inner side. When you lean out, you go more to the outer one. And then maybe forward and back a couple of times. Just soothing, calming movements. Once in a while they get a little bit intense. But that's life, isn't it? Nice. Stay with bent front leg, right hand down. Left hand reach it back. You can stay here. This is a great pose to hang out. Maybe the right foot lifts. Maybe you can hold that foot with the left hand. Instead of just passively sinking in, we're kicking the right foot strongly into the left hand. A lot of activation, the right quad, the front of the right thigh. A lot. Imagine that foot is trying to escape. 5, push harder. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now pull in as far as you go. Start to activate that right hamstring. Keep the heel as close as you can as you slowly start to relax your hand and move it away. Try to kick your right heel to your right buttock for 5, 4, 3. Breathe and relax. No. 2 and 1. Slowly come down. Nice. Coming to lunge, we're stepping onto that left foot, lifting the right knee up. I'm going to turn forward again for a little standing, balancing sequence. From here, just pendulum the right leg, swing it really lightly front to back. Can you relax that right leg completely? Can you really let it hang from the hip? Actually, imagine it hangs from the top of your head. A super long, heavy leg. Imagine. Maybe kick a little bit more, a little bit higher. You feel a little twist, you feel a bit more core work. You feel maybe the arms get involved naturally. If you fall out, remember to be like the kids in the kids yoga class. They try to fall out on purpose. They think this is the best joke or thing that could happen. So that's a good attitude to have on this morning. Nice. Tree pose, really brief. Just find a shape in your body. Don't worry about what it looks like. Ankle to knee, figure 4. Dancer. Right foot behind, left arm reaches up and forward. Nice. What do we do after this? Warrior 3. Half moon. Actually, doesn't matter what you do as long as you keep moving. Hands down, right leg higher. Right knee to chest. Free time, do whatever you want. Eagle pose. Holding the front foot. Padangusthasana. Doesn't matter. Little squat. And then forget about that. It's good hip work. Well done. Last standing pose, one of my favorite ways to start to work into inner thighs. You're going to get hamstrings as well. Nice. From here, go quite wide with the feet. And then turn the feet a little bit out, bend the left knee. I'm not mirroring you, so you're going to go the other way. Bend the left knee and lift the right heel, lift the right toes a little bit up. This is one option. If you've got a little bit more space, you can sink a little bit down. I've got some restrictions here, so I'm not going terribly low. And then move to the second side, Skandasana. This is the surface lunge. We're not holding, we're just moving side to side. If it happens that you need to lift the one heel that you're closest to, that you're leaning to, that's perfectly fine. Maybe over time, that heel might stay down. But don't worry about these details. The movement and the regularity of your practice is way more important than how far you go in any single pose. So keep going side to side, noticing the differences between each side. Trying to stay calm, relaxed, and moving with calm breaths. Not that the breaths have to exactly mirror all the movements, but naturally you'll probably find you're inhaling as you go up, there's more space, and probably exhaling as there's a softening down, maybe a contracting. And then straighten the legs a little bit more, but keep a soft bend in them. Have the toes a little bit facing out. Nice. This is my favorite way of doing the prasarita, which is the standing forward fold in a more dynamic way. All we're going to do here is I'm going to go to my left knee and straighten the right leg a little bit. Bend the left knee a little bit more. And I'm swaying my upper body towards the right knee. Right knee is going to bend, left knee straightens. Nice. Now we'll do this a little bit faster, where you sway side to side. As you come towards that knee, it bends and the other leg straightens and pushes away a little bit. Nice fluid motions. Hang the spine down, relax. Maybe increase the speed a little bit if it feels good. And feel there's no pose we're holding. There's not much intensity even. Not all the great yoga poses or movements have to be super intense in order to be effective. Just sway how fluid can your spine be. And really feel the work in the inner hips and the hamstrings, maybe the spine. And if this feels good, then it's a good idea to make a mental note. Maybe you need to do a little bit more of this. Just half a minute, 1 minute of this in the morning can make a huge difference. And then start to slow down, hang down for a moment. You're not trying to get anywhere, there's no specific alignments. In fact, I'd recommend to just do a little bit less now. To hang your spine down from the hips. To relax your head at the end of the spine. To let the shoulders droop down with gravity. Nice. Slowly come up. I had a request to do an inversion from somebody. Now, inversions can sound a little bit scary, but I'll show you one way that it's quite safe, quite accessible. If you prefer not to do this, then I would say sit with wide legs in a forward fold and spend a little moment here. While some of you might go upside down. I'm going to use my palm tree here. So if this is a wall or a cupboard or something that you know is not going to fall over, a strong husband maybe, then walk away so you're turning your back towards that wall or that thing, and then just push one foot against it and then the other foot. I like to walk my feet a little bit higher up, so you're a little bit at an angled handstand, or you can lean one leg a little bit over your head. Nice, that's it. You can try balance for a moment here. Just play. And then come back down. Well done. Lie down on your back. If you were in the seated forward fold, also lie down on your back. So here we are. We've moved in sometimes new ways for our body. We didn't stop. This was pretty much continuous movement for almost 45 minutes. And now we have arrived at the space. So feel the outcome of your efforts. We'll just do a few brief counter poses to the work we've done. But before we go there, take a little moment to soften, a moment to observe what you feel like inside. And then relax your arms next to your hips. Gonna move into bridge pose dynamically for a couple of rounds, and then we'll hold the last pose. So on the inhale, lift the hips high, lift the chest up. Exhale, slowly lower. Inhale, start with the hips, lower back, middle back, upper back. Exhale, slowly lower like a spinal roll. 3 more, take your time. Inhale. Exhale to sit down. 2 more, there's no rush. Exhale. Last one, inhale. If it feels good, you can hold this one for a little bit longer. Option to clasp the hands behind the lower back. Whatever you do, keep opening the whole front body, not one little part. We don't want extreme intensity in one joint and nothing in the rest. We want an even experience throughout the whole body. Can you work your arms as much as your legs? Can you work the lower spine as much as the upper spine? Can you work the front and the back with equal intensity? They're not doing the same thing, but there's as much as tension from your focus on all the elements. One more deeper breath, inflate the chest. Exhale, release all the way down. Take a breath. Soften. Nice, and slowly come back up. Our last pose before Shavasana is a delicious hip stretch. It looks like a modification of pigeon. I actually find it feels a bit better for me in my body. It looks like this. It's called 90-90. I have my left leg at a 90-degree angle with the knee, 90-degree angle with the foot. The front shin, left shin, is parallel to the short edge of the mat. And then the back leg, the same, takes a bit of practice to set this up correctly, but you more or less want like a rectangular shape between the two legs. Feet are active. Nice. And then start to lean forward. As it's towards the end of the class, we don't have to do a super active version, but what I like to do is hook the right forearm around the left heel and just put a little bit of tension between the two as I lean forward. You could stay on that elbow, lengthen the chest forward. I feel a deeper stretch here. Or as it's towards the end of the class, you might want to relax more. You might want to lie down all the way on that left thigh or shin. A couple of breaths here. We are turning inwards more and more towards the end of the session. While we want to keep on moving forward, even if there are restrictions on our physical movement, on our travel movements. Here in South Africa during the lockdown, we can't even go for a walk at the moment. But there's a lot of other movements and moving forward that is possible here. And one of them, the main one probably, is to turn inside. To get to know yourself on a whole other level. To recalibrate during this global pause. And then to emerge on the other side, whatever that is, and whatever that looks like, with a new capacity, with a new reserve of strength and balance. Slowly rise back up. Let's swap. The easiest way to swap here is just to swivel the knees like windscreen wipers, and you should be more or less in the right position. You can make small adjustments again. Right shin parallel to the short edge of the mat. Right thigh parallel to long edge of the mat, and then the same for the back leg, 90 degrees wherever you look. And then lean a little bit forward. I like to hook that left forearm around that right heel. Stretch the chest forward. You can stay on the hands or on your forearm, or you can rest down a little bit deeper. Here in this practice, we take complete responsibility for what we are in control of. The way your body can move and get stronger, get more balanced. This is what we're exploring. The way your mind can rest in the body and not take over with anxiety, with fears, with doom scenarios, which it often likes to do. I think we all have that experience. But instead we're tuning into what is here. We're alive, we can move, we've got a little bit of space, we've got our health, hopefully. We've got good relationships. And whatever else was not available during this time, we will build it up when the time is right. Slowly start to rise back up. There's two options. You can either come to a comfortable seat if you want to do a seated meditation for the last few minutes. Or option 2, lie down on your back for our resting pose, the Shavasana. Don't skip Shavasana. This is probably the most important pose. We need to be able to move, but probably what we need to learn most of all is to relax. To, in some cases, do nothing. to find comfort in the discomfort. So right now, let your body rest here. For a moment, hear the sounds of the outside world. Probably a lot less sounds than you might be used to, or at least in terms of traffic and activity out there. You might hear some sounds of nature if you're outside, or if your window is open. Some rustling leaves of the trees, a dog barking in the distance, birds and insects. Everything continues. And then let your mind rest in the body for a couple more minutes. Start to take a few deeper breaths. If you've got no plans, if you've got lots of time, then I would recommend you can stay in this Shavasana for a little bit longer, maybe extra 10 or 15 minutes, if you've got that luxury. If you need to move on to the next project and start to move your toes, move your fingers. Bend your knees and roll over to your side. And slowly push yourself up to a seated position. Bring your hands together. Give thanks that your hands to your forehead, to your heart center, and bow to yourself on your mat. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. This Namaste, everybody. It's been a real pleasure to practice with you twice a week, and I love to hear your comments, your feedback. How are you feeling after this session or in this lockdown? How is yoga helping you to cope with all this difficulty, these challenges? If you have any ideas, requests, or feedback, then please send them to me, drop me a comment or an email. If you'd like to support, there's some ways to donate on my website, yogaworks.co.za, on the contact page. And I thank you very much. Have a great Easter Sunday. All the best.